right? This calendar here is showing that Friday was the 29th, right? This Friday, yesterday was the 29th. But if there was one day short, yesterday was 28, right? So today is the 29th. 29th of Dhul Hijjah, right? Yani if Monday was the 10th, right? The following Monday is the 17th of Dhul Hijjah. The following Monday is the 24th of Dhul Hijjah. Then Tuesday will be 25th. Wednesday will be 26th. Thursday will be 27th. And Friday will be 28th. So that announcement you mentioned about yesterday, it's out to lunch. Right? So it's not correct. Yesterday was 28th. Today is 29th. So we are waiting for the moon sighting tonight in order for us to know when is the 1st of Muharram, and therefore we can decide when is the 10th of Al-Muharram and the 9th of Al-Muharram, Tasu'a and Ashura, right? So yesterday was the 28th of Dhul Hijjah, right? Today is the 29th. Therefore, tomorrow could be the 30th or could be the 1st. If tomorrow is the 1st, Sunday, then the following Sunday will be 8th. Therefore, Tasu'a and Ashura, 9th and 10th of Muharram, the day when we should be fasting, will be Monday and Tuesday. So if it happens like that, Monday we have our program here. So we'll have iftar, inshallah, right? And we have the program. Tuesday, probably we'll try to do something similar. Iftar, and then the lecture will be after Isha, right? Especially Isha now is 8:15, right? If it happens that tomorrow is actually the 30th, then Monday will be the 1st of Muharram, and therefore the following one day will be the 8th of Al-Muharram, right? If this Monday is the 1st, then following is the 8th, and Tasu'a and Ashura, 9th and 10th of Muharram, will be Tuesday and Wednesday, right? So yesterday, I guess they just looked at the calendar, right? Which even the calendar of Al-Qura is used as an indication, but we know even in Arabia they didn't follow this. The Eid was not Sunday. According to this, Eid was Sunday. But we know that even in Arabia the Eid was Monday, not Sunday, right? So definitely yesterday was 28, right?
They announced like 3-4 praises, so continue.
I don't know how they got that information, but I mean, this is solid, right? This information. Now I just looked at it now. If Monday was the 10th, the following Monday is 17th, following is 24th, and therefore the Friday, it cannot be but the 28th, right? It cannot be the 30th. I did see, I think they just looked at randomly at some websites, right, which give, based on calendar information. I even yesterday, I wasn't supposed to do a khutbah, but then at 10 o'clock they called me. They said, you need to fill in for someone. He couldn't make it because he's sick. So I was looking, when is the Muharram? Is today the 1st? Is today the 30th? So I was looking, I found in some websites today is the 30th, on Friday, right? So I was like, how could this be? But no time, I'm rushing. I have to go and do a khutbah. So in the khutbah I said, we are at the end of Dhul Hijjah. So I just skipped what day it is because I really didn't know. But I know it's the end of Dhul Hijjah. So I was saying it's the end of Dhul Hijjah, and soon we are going to start Muharram, and so on and so forth, because I couldn't get the information. I even checked Crescent Committee, Hilal Committee, this committee. There's nothing, no help whatsoever, right? So this is the case. And today you're telling me they announced that, right? So you bring it to their attention that this is not correct. based on Monday was 10th of Dhul Hijjah, Eid. So today, yesterday definitely is 28. Today, definitely 29. Tonight they will try to sight the new moon of Al-Muharram. If it is seen, tomorrow is the first. If they don't see it, Monday is the first. Right? So that is the case. Right. So that one issue is out of the way, inshallah. And jazakallahu khairan for the coffee. Barakallahu feek. أحسن الله إليك. طيب, so we can start inshallah.
So for those audience who wants to see on the internet, they need to search QSS live stream. 3 words.
Live stream, 1 word. QSS live stream. 3 words then. QSS live stream. They cannot watch on the. They cannot watch on the website. So they still didn't get this done, no? All right. Until? Okay. So probably even the lectures with the shuyukh, we cannot do them live. That's okay. So how can they know that this is happening if they cannot hear us now? So who am I telling now?
This audience here, so their families can watch.
Okay, but those who are live, there is nobody live stream.
They have to come down one day at least.
Uh-huh.
They can't be home all the time.
Okay. So if you want to watch what we are doing live, you need to. This is on YouTube, right? On YouTube, you have to type on YouTube 3 words: QSS live stream. QSS live stream. After you log on to YouTube, youtube.com, then type on their search there, QSS live stream. 3 words, right? And it will take you to the live stream, inshallah, channel. Can we not provide a link to it from our?
One day, inshallah, we'll go and do that.
Yeah, just put a link there. Click here. You want to watch live stream? Click here, and it will take them there. Yeah. Okay? خلاص إن شاء الله. طيب. So we start إن شاء الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أزواجه وذريته كما صليت على آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى أزواجه وذريته كما باركت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. أما بعد, inshallah, just for the sake of it being recorded, as there was a glitch on the website regarding the live streaming, in order for you to be able to watch what we are doing live, if you cannot get to it from our website, this is something that you can do always, right, Muhammad? Always you can do that. Anytime. You go to youtube.com, put QSS on the search box there, QSS live stream, and you will get the direct YouTube channel, and you can watch it from YouTube. This is anytime. Suppose you forgot the website or the title or the address, just go to the YouTube itself, youtube.com, and in the search box you write QSS live stream, and it will take you there. If we are doing anything live stream, then you will watch it. You will be able to watch it, right? And this way you will be even independent. You don't have to remember QSS or when or what, or the timings that we do lectures. Just go there and put it. If there is something live, you will go to it right away, inshallah ta'ala. And as you know, most of the time, the live streaming happens in the evening. Weekends, evenings. Most of the time our lectures, the weekly lectures, they are on the evening, Fridays and Saturdays, right? So this is the case, inshallah ta'ala. So now, this weekend, we have this lecture, and inshallah we'll be able to finish it. If I don't, I'm going to have to continue after Isha, inshallah ta'ala, because we need to finish the book today, inshallah ta'ala. Next week we have our shuyukh, The following week we have our shuyukh. Then the following week we'll be back to our lectures, inshallah ta'ala, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Now we reach the cause number 16 and 17 that will lead to the multiplication of the reward for the good deeds. The Shaykh Abdurrahman ibn Nasir al-Sa'di alayhi rahmatullah, he says, min lata'if al-muda'afa. Lata'if is the plural of latifa. Latifa is a subtle piece of information that is interesting. And that may be hidden, is nice and interesting and may be hidden. You may not notice it, right? Latifa. He says from the lata'if, from those subtle, interesting points regarding the multiplication of the reward for the good deeds, is that أن إصرار العمل قد يكون سببا لمضاعفة الثواب. That hiding the deed you are doing, hiding it, concealing it from the humans, right? Then it will be a reason why your deeds will be multiplied in reward. He says, فَإِنَّ مِنَ السَّبْعَةِ الَّذِينَ يُظِلُّهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي ظِلِّهِ. For from the 7 whom Allah shades under His shade, that is on the Day of Judgment. From the 7 are, who can tell us? Those who are doing something not in front of the people. Someone who gave a charity, he gives sadaqah with the right to a point that even the left hand doesn't know. This is now an example of how much he's trying to cover that sadaqah. He doesn't want the people to know about it, right? There is another one also who's doing something privately, right? Yes. So the one who mentions Allah privately in seclusion, khalwa, فَفَاضَتْ عَيْنَاهُ, his 2 eyes shed tears. He was alone, all alone by himself. He remembered Allah and his eyes shed tears, right? So this is done not in front of the people. So this was done sincerely from the bottom of his heart. So these are 2 examples. So from the subtle, interesting points regarding the multiplication of the reward is sometimes you hide the action, your reward gets multiplied. He said, كما أن إعلانها, that was cause number 16. Cause number 17 or reason number 17 is making it open, doing the action, the good deed, doing it in the open, not hiding it, doing it in the open, announcing it, publicizing it, right? Making it public. قد يكون سببا للمضاعفة. This may be a reason for multiplication. This is really interesting. You hide, you get your actions multiplied in reward. You pronounce or openly do it, right, in front of people, then because of that your reward multiplies. كالأعمال التي تحصل فيها الأسوة والاقتداء, like the deeds which will lead to being followed as an example, right? So you do it publicly, in the public, give sadaqah in public, then the people start giving sadaqah because you did. So you get your reward and all the rewards of the others also fall into your account. So sometimes you do it secretly, you get a lot of reward multiplied. Sometimes you do it openly, you get your rewards multiplied, right? In the Quran, in tubdu sadaqat, if you publicize charities, donations, فَنِعِمَّهِ, how great those charities are. وَإِن تُخْفُوهَا وَتُؤْتُوهَا الْفُقَرَاءَ فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. And if you hide it and give it to the poor, then that is better for you. وَيُكَفِّرْ عَنْكُمْ مِنْ سَيِّئَاتِكُمْ وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ خَبِيرٌ. And He will wash away, erase, expiate for your sins, and Allah is well aware of what you do, right? So here the Shaykh As-Sa'di, he explains that as-sadaqah is a good deed, but here, because you are giving it to a private person, it's not like a general donation, it is to a specific individual who is poor. He said, in this case, if you hide it, you get the reward of sadaqah and you get the reward of ihsan. Ihsan, doing it in a kind, nice way, because in this way it's giving to one specific individual. So you give it to him while the people don't know that. So you have given him the donation and also you saved him from embarrassment, right? Unlike, for instance, in a case where the people are donating for a charitable project. Brothers, we want to dig a water well, such and such place. They need water, right? It costs $10,000. So someone stands up. I will give those $10,000, all of it. Try another water well for the people, right? So now one man, he gave one water well on his own. Okay, let's start in the collecting for the second water well then, right? And 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. The people know, then they get encouraged this way to do the sadaqah in public now. Publicizing it is better than hiding it. And sometimes hiding it is better than publicizing it, and the reward is going to be according to what is best, according to what is best. And there is the famous hadith, the people who came and they were very poor, and Rasulullah ﷺ stood up in the masjid and he commanded the people to give sadaqah. So someone came with a sadaqah he couldn't even carry, and he put it. Then the people got encouraged, and then they started bringing sadaqat until it became like a heap, like a mountain. Rasulullah ﷺ was very happy. Then he said the famous statement, the one who initiates in Islam a good sunnah, then a good way, then he will get the reward of it and the reward of those who followed him. And the opposite is true. The one who starts an evil way or an evil habit, an evil thing, and then the people follow him in that, then he will get that. This is where the people of innovations, they have switched this from sunnah hasana and sunnah sayyah to bid'ah hasana and bid'ah sayyah, right? There is no bid'ah hasana in Islam. There is no bid'ah hasana in terms of religion, in terms of the deen, right? There is no bid'ah hasana. And Umar radiallahu anhu saying, what a great bid'ah this is about Taraweeh. This is not like something out of the religion, a bid'ah that he actually, linguistically, bid'ah is something new. This is something that was not practiced since the time of Rasulullah ﷺ. After he led them for 3 nights in Ramadan, then he did not show up for Taraweeh, and he left it for the fear that it will become compulsory on them. Then after that, the rest of his time, ﷺ, the time of Abu Bakr and a portion of the time of Umar, they were not praying Taraweeh behind one imam. They were praying individually or in small groups. So when he put them together behind that imam, he said, what a great bid'ah, right? Bid'ah in the linguistic sense. Otherwise it is a sunnah. Otherwise there is no such a thing as salah that we pray in congregation that Rasulullah ﷺ did not legislate. Is there such a thing? This is salat this and salat that and salat that. There is no such a thing. Every salah you pray must have been legislated by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Now this, he says, commenting on, you show the action, you get more rewarded. You hide it, you get more rewarded, right? This is very interesting. How is that? He says, and this is under the general rule. There is a rule in Islam, in the Sharia, qaida. There is a rule, right? And this point goes under it. You hide it, you get more rewarded. Sometimes you show it, you get more rewarded. What is the rule? The rule is قد يعرض للعمل المفضول من المصالح ما يصيره أفضل من غيره. He says, this rule says that the action that is less virtuous, it may have a circumstance, or circumstantially, temporarily, might have benefits in it that makes it better than other than it. We have a virtuous deed, right? And something that is more virtuous. Okay, or let me put it this way. A virtuous, excellent deed, and another deed that is less virtuous and less excellent. Both of them are good, but one of them is better than the other. So the general rule is that the more virtuous deeds, that is excellent. It's better than anything else, except in some circumstances, some cases, some situations, the action that is less rewarding, less excellent, will supersede the one that excels over it. Now, this was done before when we went through that excellent book titled Al-Wabil Al-Sayyib. So, and he quotes that here, but I don't want to go through that because we did it before and we did it more than one time. But I want to finish the book first, and then if we have time, I will go back and do parts of that from the words of the Shaykh of Ibn al-Qayyim, Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. So then, sometimes, like pertaining to the sadaqah, right? Generally, if you hide it, it's better, right? Because why? First of all, the most important item in all of our actions, which we started this book with it, right? And he was carrying it all along. The most important piece in the good deeds that we do is what? Ikhlas. Ikhlas, sincerity. Doing it purely for the sake of Allah. And definitely hiding your good deeds is always closer to ikhlas. Right or wrong? Is always closer to ikhlas and running away from show off. Right? That's why they say about some righteous people, salihin, from the people of the past, he would be praying night prayer for so long and even his wife doesn't know he's praying. Somehow he is able to hide and conceal that. They don't know. Right? He would be covering the cost or supplying some poor families with money. They don't know until unfortunately or fortunately, until unfortunately he dies. Then those families, they don't receive that money. Now it gets exposed, right? Because he was hiding it all along, right? So hiding in general is closer to ikhlas, and therefore generally it's better. But then if you do something openly and others follow you in that, and that is better, right? You do it openly and others follow you in that, then that is better. And then there are those actions that are fara'id. There should be no show off in this. Oh, I'm not gonna pray Salatul Dhuhr in the masjid. I don't wanna show off. Right? There's no such a thing. Not in those things. Are you fasting? It's Ramadan. Don't ask me this question. If I'm fasting, I'm doing. This is Ramadan. You can't hide, right? You are not supposed to hide this. This is part of announcing and fortifying, showing the sha'air al-Islam, the rights, the symbols of Islam being supported, being pushed up, right? So there shouldn't be trying to, I don't want to show off in those things. But then the voluntary, the extra ones, these are the ones you should try to hide whenever you can. But then, if doing it is better, will lead others to follow, or it will teach others, right? You're used to pray the Sunnah at home always, but then sometimes you pray it in the masjid so the people can follow you in that. You are teaching them and you want them to know that this is how you do it, then that is good, and like that, right? So sometimes you have a good deed, and there is another good deed that is less rewarding than it, but in specific conditions, situations, the deed that is less virtuous will supersede the one that is more virtuous. And we did give examples of that before. We mentioned like you are reciting the Quran and the mu'adhin is calling the adhan. You stop reciting the Quran. Although the best dhikr is recitation of the Quran. You stop reciting and you follow the mu'adhin. Why? Because if you didn't follow him, you will miss that. And the Quran, you can catch up with that. So follow him and then recite the Quran. Right? So this dhikr is less virtuous than the Quran. But in this specific instance, answering the mu'adhin is more, right? They come into the masjid, and this is, no matter how many times I mention it in the Jumu'ah, it doesn't click. Or every time there are people who, the Imam walks in, he says Assalamu alaikum and he sits. The mu'adhin gets up to call the adhan. Someone enters, he stands. And he is following the mu'adhin now. Sometimes I tell them, I sign to them, pray, right? Why? Because answering the mu'adhin is recommended, mustahab. But listening to the khutbah is a must. So now if you stand answering the mu'adhin, and then after that the mu'adhin finishes, the imam says inna alhamdulillah, and now you are Allahu Akbar. You are ignoring him, and you are, right? So this is not right. Unlike when you come for the case, you come for Salatul Maghrib. Maghrib is 7 o'clock and you entered 6:59. Right? What do? Here now you stand. You don't start praying, because if you do, you start and then he's going to call the adhan. You will miss answering the mu'adhin. So you stand, don't sit. Right? Stand, and after a minute they will call the adhan. Then you answer the mu'adhin, and now you pray the 2 rak'at of sunnah, between the adhan and the iqamah, and that will take care of tahiyatul masjid, right? That will take care of tahiyatul masjid. You don't have to pray tahiyatul masjid separately, right? طيب. So finishing the book, he says, alayhi rahmatullah, and this is the last piece, and mashallah, as they say, the best for the last, right? He summarized so much in these words that he is saying here. He said, وَمِمَّا هُوَ كَالْمُتَّفَقِ عَلَيْهِ بَيْنَ الْعُلَمَاءِ الرَّبَّانِيِّينَ. It is something that is unanimously agreed upon, between the scholars who are Rabbaniyin. Rabbani is referred to the Lord, lordly, right? Rabbaniyin, those who teach the people the smaller pieces of knowledge, then they move to the bigger and the bigger, right? This is something that is very important, to be a Rabbani person. If someone starts practicing now, don't tell him everything now which will make him confused. Someone brought that person to the masjid. He was not praying. Now he starts praying because of that person, right? And that person, maybe he's doing some mistakes here and there. Don't now tell that person who just started practicing, that person, watch. If you go with him, you're going to the fire. He just brought him to the masjid. Ittaqillah. Right? This information, even if it is true, this is not the time for it, because that person will leave that person and will leave you too, and will not come back again to the masjid. If this person who did so well by bringing him to the masjid, now the first thing you do is warn against this person. This person now, this guy is not going to, and the likes of that. Knowledge is not taking, one piece, one mountain, Today you take it, that pill, tomorrow you are Shaykh al-Islam. It's never like that. It doesn't happen like that. Knowledge is taken gradually. And if you give information that is too much for someone who has too little, wallahi, it is a big fitna for them. a big fitna for them. A big fitna for them. Even if they are doing something that is disliked, let him do the disliked thing. Don't talk. Especially if it is, maybe some scholars say it's haram, but then it's not agreed upon. Just leave him alone for now until he is solid. After he has his foot firm into practicing the religion, then you tell him this and that and this and that, he will take it. But before that, his heart cannot take all of this. Cannot take all of this. This is a very big problem that some of us might do with good intentions. Oh, I just want him to be right, I just want him to be this and that. But then you are confusing him, right? You are confusing him. He learned to pray in a certain way. Then this brother walks and tells him, do this. Then the second brother walks in and says, doing that, astaghfirullah, do that. And then the next one, what is that? What is that? And they see others who are much more knowledgeable than them. They don't do this. They don't do that. Do you know better than the others? What's wrong with you? That's the problem. But then it causes a lot of problems. Rabbaniyin. You have to be Rabbaniyin. Teach the people with the smaller pieces of knowledge. Then you gradually move on to the more important and bigger pieces of knowledge, and then they can absorb that, they can swallow that and go on. But if you rush everything now, today, khalas, you do something so rushed and you leave it so rushed, right? So now you have the thob and the qamis and the imama and this and khalas, and then tomorrow no thob, no qamis, no imama, nothing, right? Just one day like that and the other day like that. Why is this? Because it's too much in too short of a time. Too short of a time. Right? So he says that the lordly scholars, it's like agreed upon between them that أن الاتصاف في كل الأوقات, that being described, having the quality or the qualities all the time. What are these qualities that he says we need to have them all the time? He said, بقوة الإخلاص لله, having strong sincerity to Allah, ومحبة الخير للمسلمين, loving good for Muslims, even if they are bad Muslims. Not only good Muslims, you wish them good. Even Muslims who are sinners, Muslims who have some mistakes, Muslims who are ignorant, Muslims who are deviant. There is nothing wrong wishing well for a Muslim who is deviant. Is there a problem with that? I'm asking. Is there a problem with that? He is deviant, you wish well for him. You don't wish, may Allah, have him struck with this. There is nothing wrong with wishing well for them. Especially wishing well for them in terms of being guided, right? And I always mention the dua that is attributed to Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, the Imam of Ahlus Sunnah, who used to say, Allahumma man kana min ummati Muhammadin ala ghayri al-haq, O Allah, the one from the ummah of Muhammad who was not upon the truth, fahdihi Allahumma ila al-haq, O Allah, guide him to the truth, so that he will become from the people of the truth. ليكون من أهل الحق. اللهم من كان من أمة محمد على غير الحق فرده اللهم إلى الحق ليكون من أهل الحق. What's wrong wishing that the people will become from the people of the truth, even if they are the worst? If they retract, if they repent, if they become back steadfast, Allah, alhamdulillah, we don't wish for them to be destroyed before they accept the truth. Why is that? Why is that? Right? Actually, this is one of the things, this thinking is one of the qualities of the Khawarij, they say. They are so restricted. One of them, he left that because of this. So he said, this person from the Khawarij, he told him that he will be in paradise, him and this other one, and maybe the other one, the third one, or him and both of them only. So that person, he said, Jannatun arduha as-samawat wal ard. A paradise whose width is like the heavens and the earth. It's only for me and you. I left what you are upon. He walked away on him. Right? All of this paradise is just for the two of us. It cannot be. Right? He said, I left what you are upon. I'm not. He walked away on him. Right? So, having those qualities, your ikhlas, your sincerity to Allah, you want to please Allah, not to please yourself. Right? When you talk about others, that he is this and he is that, his clothes is this, his has this, he doesn't know that, he is ignorant, his religion is. When you say that, are you saying it sincerely for the sake of Allah, and to clarify the truth and make it manifest, and so that the people will follow it? Or is it just, so that we can brag about ourselves that wallahi mashallah we are on it, everybody else is out, right? And we are the best, and so on and so forth. Or just, we used to, before practicing, we used to joke and talk about, gossip about everything. Now we started practicing and praying and all of that. So we cannot gossip, the old gossip that we used to do about this woman and that man, and right? Now we start gossiping about religious stuff, right? He is not doing this, he's doing that, he did this, you know what, his family, his son is, his father is, sometimes things that they are not responsible for anyways. What can they do for others who are related to them, right? If they don't want to listen and they don't want to practice. So, قوة الإخلاص and محبة الخير للمسلمين, loving good for all Muslims, right? مع اللهج بذكر الله, along with continuously mentioning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إخلاص, محبة الخير للمسلمين, إخلاص, loving good for Muslims, and continuously remembering Allah. He said those three qualities, right? It is like unanimously agreed upon between the scholars that these three qualities لا يلحقها شيء من الأعمال. No good deeds can be equal to this, can catch up with them in their excellence. Ikhlas, strongly, loving good for Muslims, and the third one is to always remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those, you cannot match. Those are the best qualities. وأهلها سابقون لكل فضيلة وأجر وثواب. The people who have these three qualities, they are first and foremost, they beat all the others. They are sabiqun. Sabiqun to every reward. Every reward from Allah they get it. وغيرها من الأعمال تابع لها. The other deeds other than these three, they are follow-up. They follow these three. Salah, if you don't have ikhlas, what is the point? Right? And so on, so forth. So on, so forth. Right? Ikhlas, sincerity, loving good for Muslims, and mentioning and remembering Allah all the time. فأهل الإخلاص والإحسان والذكر هم السابقون السابقون المقربون في جنات النعيم. So the people of sincerity and ihsan, right, being good, this is referring to محبة الخير للمسلمين, loving good for Muslims, ihsan, kindness towards others, and dhikr, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are السابقون السابقون المقربون, first and foremost, foremost, those who are brought close, they are the closest to Allah, في جنات النعيم, in the gardens of delight, right, gardens of enjoyment, right? And he's referring to the ayat in Surah Al-Waqi'ah, السابقون السابقون أولئك المقربون في جنات النعيم. You want to be from them, ikhlas, ihsan, loving good for Muslims, and the third one is always remember Allah, right? So those three will make you fly ahead of others, and will have your rewards multiplied and multiplied in a way that you couldn't have imagined. Now, what remains with us is the, as I mentioned, and it is the time of Salah. What remains with us is the that rule that the Shaykh spoke about, and that is the issue of you have a virtuous or an excellent good deed and another good deed that is less excellent, but then sometimes the good deed that is less excellent will supersede, will be more rewarding the deed that excels over it because of a specific circumstance, situation, or a condition, right? So we'll go back to that inshallah ta'ala. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka